and that you only inaugurated this building last year. So it's a wonderful new building. And he was also telling me of one Prabhuji, I think he's sitting here, the person who took the lead role in signing the bank forms in order to take a loan, so that so many families, so many devotees can have this wonderful temple facility where we can come together and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So is that Prabhuji here, the person who took the leading role in going to this project? Thank you very much. So we want to take darshan of such great magnanimous personalities, because Krishna says that unless and until the heart of the Vaishnava is munificent, is giving, then he cannot get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. One time a saint was asked, a saintly person in India, he was asked by a simple person. He said, what is the paribhasha, the definition of dharma, and what is the definition of adharma? Please tell me in very simple language, because I am a simple person. How many of you here do not understand Hindi? So once in a while I may use a few Hindi words, but I'll try my best to translate. So the person asked the saintly person, tell me the definition of dharma and adharma in very simple, straightforward language, please. So the saintly person says, par hit saras dharma nahi bhai, par pira sam nahi admai, par hit saras dharma nahi bhai. To do good to others is the greatest and the simplest definition of dharma. And what is adharma? Par pira sam nahi admai. That if you give pira, if you give pain, anxiety, trouble, losses to another, that is the greatest adhamari. That is the greatest low quality in a person. So when I came here this afternoon and I saw this building, and Prabhuji was saying that this entire building, along with land, has costed close to $500,000. I was thinking, so many people in this country, so many people in the city are living in homes that cost $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million or even $5 million. But how many people are able to use that home? Most of them, there is one or two people, husband and wife, and they may have one or two children. And what do they do in that fancy $1 million home? They fight with each other. And the children, what do? They lock themselves in the room and suffer, seeing the parents fight. So this is the use of that $1 million investment that most of us make. But here is this personality who has used his resources so that hundreds and thousands of families in 1 year would be able to come and use this facility, this building. And for what purpose? For the purpose of glorification of the Supreme Personality of God. For the purpose of hearing Bhagavad Katha. For the purpose of associating with saintly devotees that will come and visit and speak the Katha. So this is the way of investment of one's life, of one's resources, whether it is our time, whether it is our energy, or it is our money, which is the product of our time and energy. So in this way, our scriptures, our shastras, and our Vaishnava devotees, our acharyas, who know the nichod, the sanam bonum of the entire Shastra, they give us guidelines as to how human life is to be lived. Human principles have great subtleties that cannot be understood with our own intelligence and mind and our senses. And therefore, we have to take shelter of authorities such as acharyas and shastra. So one acharya, he is saying, Sutta Dara Arulakshmi. Sutta means bacha, children. We're all very happy to have good, well-behaved children. Dara means wife. For wife means husband. Lakshmi means money, resources, cars, homes. That is Lakshmi. So he is saying, Sutta Dara Aru Lakshmi. These are wonderful things. And every pious person also thinks that by the grace of God, I have these wonderful gifts in my life. But he is contradicting it. He says, Sutta Dara Aru Lakshmi Papiyan ke bhi ho. Ye to papiyon ko bhi hota hai. And they can see so many sinful people. They also have beautiful wives and lots of children, and they have much more money than even those who are favored by God. So then what discriminates between the pious and the impious? How is it that God is favoring the pious and not giving that favor to the impious? In the second line, the poet is saying, Suttadara Aru Lakshmi Papiyan ke bhi hoy Sant Samagam Hari Katha Tulsi Durlabh hoy. Ye papiyon ko nahi milta. The sinful people will never take the opportunity or be given the opportunity of Santa Samagam. That in our lives, great saintly people will come and give us teachings of the Shastra. Santa Samagam and Hari Katha. Descriptions of the Lord, His qualities, His pastimes, His behaviors, His dealings, His relationships. Those subject matters of the Lord are only available to those who are favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Santa Samagam Hari Katha Tulsi Durlabh. So this facility that has been made by few of the leaders of the community, and they have sacrificed, they have taken a risk to put out this kind of money. But what is the wonderful result of this? That again and again, we living entities, we human beings, we are able to come and nourish our spiritual strength. We are able to come and nourish our Shraddha, our Bhakti, and perform seva to the personality of God. Prabhuji was glorified. Great Vaishnavas have come. Mayapur representatives have come. So many wonderful qualities there are. So I was thinking to myself, there is one great saintly Vaishnava poet called Surdas Ji. You might have heard his name. So Surdas Ji is introducing each one of us human beings. He is saying, Jin tan diyo tahi bisrayo. That personality of Godhead who has given us this wonderful human body. What have we done with this body? Tahi bisrayo. We have forgotten it. With this human body, we choose to become very attached to the material world, to our families, to our jobs, to this beautiful body. So this is what we have done in return to the gift that the Supreme Lord has given us. Jin tan diyo tahi bisrayo aso namak harami. Such a low class, in very bad language, namak harami also means a bastard. Such a bastard I am, that I have forgotten. I am ungrateful to that personality of Godhead who has given me this special human body. Jin tan diyo tahi bisrayo aso namak harami. Mo sam Kutil Khal Kami. Who is a more degraded person than I am? Who is more Kami, a desirable person of this material world that I am, and put in always a person with full of lies and hypocrisy inside my personality. So such strong words from the Vaishnava Acharyas, they help to awaken us that yes, even though we have received this wonderful human body, we should be very careful as to how we should use this human life, only with the guidance of great acharyas, with the guidance of the Shastra. Otherwise, we will definitely go wrong in treading the path of human life. I want to tell you a small story. There was a king, a very pious king, and he was very fond of his subjects. He started to become old, and then he was thinking, I have 3 sons, but of these 3 sons, I want to hand over my kingdom only to the most qualified son, who will also treat my subjects in a very nice way and give them all the spiritual enlightenment like I have been able to give. And therefore, he thought to himself, I want to test the ability of my children, and one who is most qualified will receive my kingdom, not one who is the eldest. So he called his eldest son first. And he said, dear son, this is a very big dark room I have, and I give you $100. With this, I want you to fill this up with something substantial. So the son was thinking, such a huge dark room, with what substantial substance can I fill up with only $100? Just as he was contemplating, he saw a huge garbage truck going by. So he stopped him and he said, here is $100, can you throw all your garbage in this truck? And he said, surely. And he filled it up with garbage. Next day the father came for inspection. He opened the door and the room was full of filthy smell. He said, what have you done? He said, dear father, $100 you can only fetch garbage to fill out this room. So I did it. At least I was able to fill it up. He called the second son. He was disappointed. He said, please, your elder brother has failed. See if you have any greater intelligence than him. And the second son was also thinking, what can I do with $100 to fill up? He saw a huge tanker of water going. He gave the tanker man the $100 and said, please fill up this room with water. He filled it up. And when the father came and opened the door, the entire water was poured right out. And it got empty again. And the father said, what did you do? So quickly, the room became empty. He said, that's all I could do with $100. So by then, the father became disappointed. He was thinking, none of my children have any ability to be able to be the king of my kingdom. The third son was too young, was very young. And he had no choice, so he said, okay, I should call him. He called his third son, gave him the $100. He said, you are my last chance. Please fill up this room with something substantial. So the son touched his father's feet. He went to the marketplace and he came back. He gave his father $99 back. He said, all I needed was $1 to do the task. The father was a little surprised. He went into the center of the room, the dark room. The father was standing there. He had brought with him for $1 a wonderful diya, a candle. And he lit the candle. And with that candle, he filled up the entire room with prakash, with light. And then the father could understand that, yes, this personality, even though he is small in age, but he has the Vedic, he has the understanding of how to enlighten himself, and so he will be able to spread light in my entire kingdom. This is how our Vaishnava Acharyas are. This is the teachings that come from India, from Bharatvarsha, even though seemingly it is a fifth world country, a backward country, but it is full of wisdom and knowledge and spirituality so deep that even though the Muslims who ruled our country for more than 1,200 years were not able to take our culture, our philosophy, our religious practices, our dharma away from us. So embedded is the dharma in the culture of the people, and that is the gift of our saintly people. Our saintly people in India have mixed in our lifestyle the religious principles and the foundation. And in order to spread this all over the world, our acharyas have always, they have been extremely compassionate in their heart. That how we can treat all the human beings equal, all the living entities equal, and how every human being is a recipient of the teachings that come from Bharatvarsha, the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And for this reason, our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they gave up their own bhajan and they went out in the world and to establish Krishna consciousness. And not they were satisfied in establishing only in India, but they also sent their disciples and representatives to the Western world. Our Srila Prabhupada, a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he was sent by him that you please go and spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world. And it is the result of that today all of us sit here wonderfully relishing the philosophy, the Krishna consciousness practices, and relishing this entire teachings of the Bhagavad Gita along with our children and family members. This year, 2015, we celebrate the 50 years of Iskcon society, of Srila Prabhupada's wonderful work. Srila Prabhupada came to America in 1965, and this is the 50th year. When anything comes to maturity, 25 years or 50 years or 100 years, everyone celebrates. And we see that the holy Padukas from Nityananda Dham, from Mayapur Dham, and Nrsimhadev in the form of his Sitari, they are here for many reasons. And one of the reasons is to celebrate, to commemorate this wonderful activity and work of this great Acharya Vaishnava Srila Prabhupada that he has done here, starting from America and from Canada. And as we are traveling to each and every community and temple of America and Canada, we are seeing how Lord Nityananda Prabhu is giving his blessings. He is coming personally to see all the endeavors of the Vaishnavas in order to establish Krishna on this planet. Just like we say in Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale. You are the one, you are the Acharya that has established Krishna in Kali Yuga, that has established Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu, this is one of his activities, coming here to celebrate and to bless all of us. At the same time, Mahaprabhu, when he came in the form of his own devotee, he did his leelas, he spread Krishna consciousness, but his work was not completed because he made a prediction. He made a desire that in every town and village, the holy names of the Lord should be spread. Prithvi te ate jato nagar anigram sarvatra prachar hoive guru naam. And then he also gave instructions to Bharatvasis and also to Vaishnavas. Bharat bhumi te hoilo janmajar janmo sartho kori koro koro upakar. Those of you who have taken birth in Bharat bhumi or have taken birth in the lineage of Bharatvarsha, or those of you who have come in contact with the philosophy of Bharatvarsha, Janmo sartha kori. You must perfect your life by becoming a good Vaishnava and a sadhaka. But that is not all. You must go out and give this Krishna consciousness to others. Poro Upakar is very important in order to get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just like the personalities who have created this temple facility, they are doing Poro Upakar to so many families that live in this community by facilitating their coming here so they can also get Santa Samagam Hari Katha. So in the works of Srila Prabhupada, in his coming here to America, in wanting to establish Krishna on the face of this earth, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, he did so many activities. First, he inculcated the philosophy into the Western people and defeated their atheistic and their Mayavadi ideas. Then, he translated all the great granthas and gave his elaborate Bhaktivedanta purports to them. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna book, the Bhagavatam. But then he said, I do not want the world to say the Hare Krishna people came, they chanted, they danced, and they went away. Therefore, build temples. Because when we build temples, we congregate with them. We strengthen each other's faith. Because in Shastra it is said, Kalo Samke Shakti Kalo Yuge. In Kali Yuga, the strength, the Shakti is in Samke. Samke Shakti Kalo Yuge. So this is how we come together. This is how we perform activities. We strengthen ourselves and we go out and preach and influence other people also to become pious Vaishnavas. Surrender at the lotus feet of Krishna. Together come and chant and become a participant in the Sankirtan movement. The Mahayagya of Kali Yuga. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva, Kevalam. Kalau, Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. Gatir Anetha. This is Mahaprabhu's vachan. Mahaprabhu, three vachan. 3 times he is saying that this is the nichor, the summum of my entire teaching. That in Kali Yuga, if you want to become purified, if you want to influence others and do parupkar, if you want your families to be prosperous, there is only one shelter, and that is Harinam. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. 3 times. So in order for Harinam to spread all over the world, this is one of the activities of Srila Prabhupada. He explicitly explained to us that temples must be built. And of all the temples that he built in his lifetime, 108 centers he opened in a short period of 12 years. And so many devotees all over the world are benefiting from those centers. But he said, my greatest and most ambitious project is to build Sri Ram. He wanted to glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted the world to know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the avatar in Kali Yuga. He is Krishna who has come as his own devotee in order to give us his beneficent kripa to all the living entities who do not qualify to become devotees. And yet by his kripa, they become devotees, Vaishnavas of the Lord. So this tour that we are making, this is that endeavor to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's desire and mission. And not only his mission, but it is the mission of all the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. The greatest Acharya in our movement, the Adi Guru of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, is Lord Nityananda himself. He is called the Adi Guru. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sent the 6 Goswamis to Vrindavan. He said, please go and manifest this Vrindavan Dham again. And go and write all the granthas and purports to all the rasa granthas in Vrindavan. But he sent Nityananda Prabhu to Rajput. He sent him to Bengal. He said, Nityananda, you go and do the most difficult job. You go to Bengal and preach Krishna consciousness. You go to Bengal and spread the Sankirtan movement. And that Nityananda Prabhu in Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is a mention that he was taking Jiva Goswami when he was very young on a Navadvip Dham Mandala Parikrama. And while he was showing him all the places of pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Sri Dham Mayapur, he pointed out to Jiva Goswami. He said, look Jiva, right here in Mayapur, Iha, ek adbhut mandir, hoibe prakash. Gorangor, Iha, ek adbhut mandir, hoibe vikash. Gorangor, nitya seva, hoibe prakash. Vikash means it would be built. It would be built by the hands of devotees. Vikash karna. And what will happen from that adbhut mandir, that astounding temple, Gorangor nitya seva. The Nitya Seva of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which is the Sankirtan movement, it will spread all over the world. Gauranga Nitya Seva Hoibe Prakash. So this is his desire and his prediction 500 years ago. And all our acharyas in the line of Lord Nityananda Prabhu have also deeply desired that Mahaprabhu's Dham should be glorified. And therefore, we have of course become late because Srila Prabhupada had made plans for this temple in 1972. But because the plan was so big, it took our leaders many, many years of how to build this temple. 6 years ago, one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, an American person, whom Srila Prabhupada had told that you should help to finance this project, his name is Ambarish Das Prabhu. He took initiation from Srila Prabhupada almost 45 years ago. And till today, he is an ardent Vaishnava. With one check, he gave to this project $25 million. And that is how we were able to complete the superstructure of this entire building. And he took this money as a loan from his own bank. He took the money as a loan and then gave it, until today he is paying back the loan. So it was ultimate sacrifice on the part of one disciple of Srila Prabhupada to get this project started. And this Prabhuji now, along with our team, many temples, he comes along and spreads his hand out in front of his own God brothers and God sisters. That please, let us come together and make this a wonderful offering to Srila Prabhupada. Let this temple be our Guru Dakshina Mandir to Srila Prabhupada, for what Srila Prabhupada has done for all of us and for the world. This is the reason why a great personality who is sitting right here, Sriman Jananivas Prabhu, a very serious and sober devotee, and an ardent follower of Srila Prabhupada. In 1972, he joined Sridham Mayapur as a young man of 32, 33 years of age. He was traveling around India seeking spirituality from the philosophy of India. When he met with Srila Prabhupada, he knew he had come to the right place. And on his first meeting, Srila Prabhupada recognized him and gave him the seva of Sri Sri Radha Madhava in Mayapur. Haribo! And that day and today, it is 42 years, Prabhuji has not even left the gates of Mayapur now. He stayed in Sridham Mayapur, taking care of the deities of Radha Madhava. When the first set of Radha Madhava given to him by Srila Prabhupada was about this size. Many of you have seen the little Radha Madhava. And since then, big Radha Madhava, Ashtashakhi, Vishwamadev, Panchatattva, so much seva, so many festivities have come up by his sincerity and steady seva. That today in Sridham Mayapur, we have more than 100 full-time pujaris in his department serving the deities of Mayapur. Leaving such service, such attachment to the deities, such festivities, such responsibility, Why is Prabhuji sitting here amongst us? Because when we were bringing the Padukas of Nityananda Prabhu, we needed a pure, sober personality to carry the Padukas, to be the representatives, the seva of the Padukas. So who should we ask for Jananivas Prabhu? When we approached him and we said, Jananivas Prabhu, this is our plea and recommendation to you, that you should travel for 4 months all over America and Canada with the Padukas. The minute Jananivas Prabhu heard this, he started to shiver in fear. He just started to shake. And his lips became dry. He didn't know it was a shock for him. That somebody would ask him to leave the seva of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. He did not give us an answer. But later on, the next day, he came and he said, I have thought about it. In order to build this temple as our Guru Dakshina Mandir to Srila Prabhupada, in order to glorify Sri Dham Mayapur, I would be willing to break my sankalpa for 43 years and go begging from door to door, from home to home, from the Vaishnavas, so we can together build this temple. And this is why he first arrived in Alachua, Florida, to my home. So we were staying there for 3 days before we made our first presentation. We were in a car driving somewhere to someone's home from Bashar. So he whispered in my ear. He said, you know, Radha Jivan, when I became a devotee 43 years ago, I made myself 2 promises that I will never do in life. So I was curious. What were those promises? He said, my first promise was that I told myself I will never in my life go to America. He said, but how? So I said, and the second one, he said, I promised to myself, never in my life I will ask anyone for any money. And he said, I have broken both my promises only because I know it is the higher cause of building this temple and offering it to Srila Prabhupada so he can offer it to Sri Chaitanya. You know, last year in 2014, 6 million pilgrims and devotees came to Sri Mayapur. That is an average of 15,000 people coming to Mayapur every day. And as all of you know, Sri Mayapur Dham is known as the Audarya Dham. Sri Vrindavan is known as the Madhurya Dham. Sri Dwarika is known as the Aishwarya Dham. In Mayapur, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has the Audarya mood. Audarya means munificent. He is indiscriminately giving his kripa and mercy and Krishna bhakti to each and every person who simply enters the Dham. And that makes Sri Dham Mayapur a superior Dham than any other Dham. And this is why our Gaudiya Vaishnavas have always wanted that Sri Dham Mayapur should be publicized so more and more people will be attracted to come here. Our Srila Prabhupada also said, my idea is to attract people of the whole world to Mayapur. This was Prabhupada's mission. He came to the Western world to bring the Jivas back and connect them with Sri Dham Mayapur. So, these are some of the emotions and sentiments of the acharyas, of our devotees that are attached to this wonderful project that is happening in our very lifetimes. We should see it like this. How dhanya, how blessed we are that this project, this Mahayagya, is taking place right in the majority of our lifetimes. If this temple was built 40 years ago, none of us would have had the opportunity to come forward and be a participant in this Mahayagya. None of us would be able to put our ahuti in this Mahayagya. If this temple was to be built 40 years later, many of us may not be able to participate. So with this in mind, we should all be thinking, here, Jananivas Prabhu is here, or Nityananda Prabhu is here. Let us all make a sankalpa so that we can also build our sambandha, our relationship with this wonderful project. So I will be telling you later on all the details of how every devotee can participate in this project. Like we have said, 7 years to inaugurate and 7 ways to participate. We have devised a way in which everyone can participate in small or a big way to build this temple. That I will be explaining to you a little bit later. I will take this opportunity to request His Grace Jananivas Prabhu to also say something in regard to this project, and after that, I will be telling you all the detailed information. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vaishnava, Gaur Bhakta. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Mai Ki
Jai.
Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
So thank you very much for inviting us here to your company. It's very nice temple. Srila Prabhupada said that actually Lord Chaitanya could easily spread this mission all over the world by himself, but he said he didn't do it. He said, why? He said, because he left it for me to do it. So he get an opportunity to assist Prabhupada in his Guru given savor and his Gauranga given savor in glorifying the Vidam Mayapur, which is subvented for Kali Yuga. The other dharmas, they're very powerful, but in Kali Yuga, due to the scintillations, they get covered. They're like lotus flowers, giving their mercy. So they get covered in Kali Yuga and they close. But Mayapur is a venting for Kali Yuga. It's a venting for the living entities of Kali Yuga to take shelter of. Therefore, it's expanding, it's blooming. It's the environment of the Sridhar Mayapur and the Sankirtan mission. So, we are very honored to be able to carry the shoes of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Sringadev. Someone was mentioned this morning how they like the pastimes of Lord Sringadev. So I tell you one pastime when Lord Sringadev first arrived. We were all very, very nervous because he is over in Sringa, very angry. But even the sculptor of the deity said it's very ferocious form. Nobody worships this form because nobody can approach the form. And you install a deity that you can approach for something and ask for something. That's the purpose of a deity. You don't install a deity that you cannot approach. But this form of Lord Sringadev is so angry, he hasn't cured Hiranyakashipu yet. So nobody worships the form. Anyway, later it was revealed that this deity was going to go to Mayapur Dham, and they said, oh, then you can make this deity, this angry deity, because when the Lord appears in many different forms, his associates appear with it, like Krishna appears, Radha, his Lord Nanda, his friends, and Vrindavan when he appears. Krishna expands as Lord Ramchandra, and Radharani becomes Sita, Balaram becomes Lakshman, like this. So whenever the Lord comes, his devotees, they follow him, they assume his mood also. So Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of munificence. He's giving freely Krishna Prema. This is his mantra. He's giving freely. So everybody, all the devotees have that mood of Mahaprabhu. They will come to assist him in the Dham, and all the different avatars come to assist him. So they take on Mahaprabhu's mood. And they like to help in his mission, they like to serve him. So he said, therefore you can make this angry form of deity, because although he's angry, maybe angry looking, at least for the non-devotees, He is very, very merciful because he's taken on the mood of Mayapur and Mahaprabhu, the adored Chaitanya. Very generous, one of giving, and he won't be fearful. But anyway, in the beginning, we were very scared. We heard all these stories about angry form of Lord Nrsimha. So one of the pujaris, he woke up in the morning because his bed was shaking. And he opened his eyes and he saw Lord Nrsimha was sitting on the end of his bed. And he was very, very nervous. And oh, he was. And Lord Nrsimha said, okay, it's going to be peaceful, be peaceful. No need to be frightened. But he was. When he tried to get up, Lord Nrsimha put his fingers on his shoulders and just pushed him back. And he said, it felt like the weight of the whole universe was on my body. And then Lord Nrsimha said, when you do my puja, no need to be so frightened. You should do it in a peaceful mood, in a peaceful frame of mind. And he said another thing. He said that in the morning when you wake me up, you put that very strong spotlight on my face. So first you should put a little light, night light. Later on after you can put the big lights on. And then Lord Nrsimha disappeared. So these are the ones, even the Lord himself comes to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and performs these wonderful pastimes. We have Radha Madhava there. When the sculptor had finished the deities, it was made in Jaipur, and we were there. We like him so much, we're very good. And the manager said, okay, give him final polish of the deity, make him shiny. So he began to give more polish, and a white spot appeared on the black marble. They said, okay, give more polish. So he got more polish, and it got bigger, it started to spread. They give more polish. And it got bigger as the polish, and finally he had a white line, like a Brahman thread all around his body. And then he had a tilak come on his head about the polish. Radha Madhava ki. So, this is the wonderful pastimes. We also have Jagannath Temple there, Srimanta Deep in Mayapur. And many, many pastimes with these deities also. One time, one devotee, he gave. We were distributing some Mahaprasadam. I think it was around the Yatra day. He said, give me some prasadam. They gave a little leaf plate, some kitchen or something. He said, give some for my friend also, who's outside. This boy was a rickshaw driver. His friend was also a rickshaw driver. His friend was Muslim. So he said, here, take the prasadam, Jagannath. And the boy said, how it can become prasadam in our religion? How can God have a form? He can't have this material in his form. So how can if God can't have a form, how it can be prasadam? I don't accept that it can be prasadam. And he put it on the ground, on the floor. And that night, Balaram appeared in the stream, he started to strangle it. Strangling it. The boy was crying out, mercy, mercy. Balaram said, mercy, you don't know what is mercy. If I kill you, that'll be my mercy. He said, the way you worship my brother is by honoring his Mahaprasadam. You threw that prasadam on the ground. I will kill you. He was struggling like. And Subhadra was there. She was laughing. Yes, kill him. This is her culture and nature. And then Jagannath was there. No, don't kill him. So he woke up in the morning, all his neck was red. Then he went to the temple and he gave Pujari some paisa and some flowers and sweet and some incense. He said, can you open this little temple? Pujari said, you're a Muslim boy, you're not coming worshipping. Why are you worshipping today? Then he told him the story. Then he said, no, you have a bit of Mahaprasad of Lord Jagannath. I would like to want to respect this Mahaprasad. Jagannath Swami ki.
Yeah.
So this is to show how Mayapur is such a life. All these deities. The deities are not supposed to talk or walk or do anything like that. When they do, you can understand it's only their cause is mercy, but they're not supposed to. They have so many stories. So this is especially in Mayapur, there's so much life there. All the predictions that Mahaprabhu made, that Nityananda Prabhu made, through ghats are being built on the Ganga again. Houses are being built, residential buildings, if anybody's been there lately. We have villages, Garanganaga, Gornaga, Goshala Para, Vyastapara. There is a village, Saraswati Naga. It's thousands and thousands. This is all predicted by Nityananda Prabhu. Ganga would go to a steady course, it's not flooding anymore, it's all true. So all these things, that predictions are coming true, and of course the very prediction that Radha Jivan Prabhu just mentioned, that from this an astonishing temple will appear in Mayapur. And from that temple, service to Lord Varanga will spread all over the world. So, service, devotional service, it means bhakti. Because through service only you can manifest, you can show love. Without service, there's no question of love. But when you love someone, then there is savor. So this is what Mahaprabhu was given. He's given us an opportunity to serve him. And with that service, we can all express our own love. How we make that offering. How we make that offering to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But anyway, this is the glory of this temple. It's going to go all over the world, and everybody's to chant the holy names and participate in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. This is his kindness and glory. Nityananda Prabhu has come here to remind you of your eternal Mayapur Ki. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, those who are sincerely searching for love of Godhead, they will find their resting place in Sri Mayapur. Hare Krishna.
So before I tell you the purpose for which we are here and the different programs and ask you to participate, I will tell you two short stories that talk about the significance of this evening. One is from Padma Purana. In Padma Purana, there is a story that there was a thief who couldn't maintain his family even after theft. So dejected, one time he was sleeping, just lying down in a dharamshala. And there, some pilgrims came in the same room, and they were talking about the beauty of the Shringa, of this beautiful Krishna temple, that the Lord was wearing this beautiful golden crown, and he had so many wonderful jewelry all around his body. He was dressed so nicely, the darshan was so beautiful. So the thief was hearing all this, and he was thinking that I cannot even maintain my family from theft. So why not today, I will go and steal all this from Krishna, who has put me in a situation where I am so poor that I cannot be a successful thief. So at night it was raining, and he goes, and there were 7 walls. He climbs over the 7 walls of the temple, gets to the Gopura, where the deity is taking rest, goes to the deity and takes off all his jewelry. He takes off the piece of cloth, his utariya, ties all the jewelry in it, and he starts to walk out of the temple. As he is walking out, on one corner of the temple, some construction was going on. They were fixing some tiles that had broken. So in the construction site, when the tiles were broken, the thief accidentally puts his foot and he gets his feet all muddy. When he sees that his feet are muddy, he scrapes the mud off on one of the tiles, and one of the places it gets filled up with the mud from his feet. And then he starts to go over the walls one by one to escape. When he reaches the 7th wall and he's climbing down, he slips and he falls. And upon falling, he makes a very big clang sound, because of all the jewelry that was in his possession. With the sound, the pujaris who were living nearby, they wake up, they come with sticks, they chase after this thief, they catch him and they beat him. They beat him so much that he dies. So the pujaris just leave him and go away. They take all the deity's wealth and they are gone. As soon as he is left there dead, the Yamadutas they come. Of course, he's a thief and now he's stealing from the deities. So where is he going to go? He's going to Yamalok. So Yamadutas come, they tie him up and they're taking him away. As soon as they start to take him away, Vishnu Dutas come. And the Vishnu Dutas start to beat on the Yamadutas and say, no, this man is going to Vaikuntha with us. So the Yamadutas are very perturbed. What is going on with you people? Do you have no judgment? Do you not see the kind of work this man has done? And they said, no. He may have done whatever, but he, with the scraping of his foot, he filled up one of the holes of the tile outside the temple of Lord Vishnu, and therefore we've been sent by Vishnu to come and get him back to the Dham. This is the significance of a person who endeavors to build a temple, knowingly or unknowingly. And this is why one of the activities our acharyas have given us, that with everything that we do in order to make advancement in spiritual life, one of the greatest pious and sukrit activity is to build temples of Lord Vishnu. And especially a temple that will be visited by thousands upon thousands of devotees every day. You know, in Mangalarti, in Mayapur, which is at 4:15 in the morning, there is no place to stand. 5,000 pilgrims, they come to take darshan of the deity at 4 o'clock in the morning. That is how popular and wonderful this temple is. And its popularity is growing. And people are coming to the Autari Dham. So Srila Prabhupada, along with all the sadhana he has given us, he also gave us the great fortune that we should perform sukrit activity, pious activities, by which we will become recipients of the Lord's mercy. And for this reason, Srila Prabhupada in 1972 was the first Gaur Purnima festival in Mayapur. He was living in a hut. 25, 20 disciples had arrived early and they were there living with Srila Prabhupada. It was the month of January when it is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's Vyasa Puja, the birth celebration of his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. And Srila Prabhupada was sitting and lecturing, and he was telling all the glories of his Guru Maharaj to his own disciples. And in glorified Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he suddenly paused and he said, every Vaishnava, every Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya has done something very special in Sridham Mayapur as his personal Shraddhanjali, as his personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he went on to cite examples. He said, Bhakti Vinod Thakur Maharaj, he was a magistrate at the time of the British. He wrote so many books, he did so much preaching, but he went door to door, begging from 50,000 householders in Calcutta, so he could bring the Lakshmi, the money, and build the birth site of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that was his personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sri Mayapur. And he said, my Guru Maharaj, in a very short period of time, built 67 new temples all over India. But he built the biggest one in Sridham Mayapur at a time when nobody was coming to Mayapur, because that was his personal offering, his personal Pushpanjali, Shraddhanjali to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur. And then Srila Prabhupada became very grave and he folded his own hands like this to his own disciples. And he said, I thank you very much, you boys and girls, for helping me to build this temple, because I wish to make this my personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada could speak no more because he profusely cried. That was this great Mahacharya's sentiment and emotion, a personality who gave the world every ounce of his life. He wanted one thing, to make an offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sri Mayapur, was this wonderful temple. And in doing so, he wanted to make each one of us dhanya to come forward and participate in building this temple, contribute in building this temple, and thereby become one of the persons putting ahuti in this great Mahaprabhu. A temple that would be visited by millions and millions of pilgrims. A part of the punya, a part of the sukriti will go to those people who contribute, who dedicate, who make sacrifices in order to construct this temple and have it erected. With such emotions and understanding is the reason why people like Jananivas who sit here with their hands spread in front of everyone and anyone who wishes to identify himself as a recipient of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, as a Vaishnava, as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, as an Iskcon member. And this is why, with no shame in our heart, we come to you and we go daily from door to door asking. One Vaishnava poet has said that asking for money is the most derogatory thing in this world. He says, Aab gayi aadar gaya, gaya nainan ka shre, ye teeno tab hi gayi, jab hi kaha kachute. You lose your dignity, abru. You lose your adar, your respect. You lose your nainan ka shre. When we meet, there is some kind of a reciprocation between the two people. You lose these three things the minute you say, tab hi kaha, jab hi kaha kachute. As soon as you spread your hand out to ask. So this kind of an activity in my age, in Prabhu's age, I was just sitting there and thinking that most of you people are young enough to be my sons and daughters. Young people in this world, making out your life, struggling to have so many necessities. How should I sit here with the proposition that you should give me money so we can together build this temple of mind? But then this poet, he says, Maru par mangu nahi, mere tan ke kaaj. To sustain my body, I would rather die than ask anyone for money. But paramarat ke karane, mohe na aale kaaj. In order for benefiting the whole world, spiritual enhancement, I have no shame in asking. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur had no shame. A magistrate in the time of the British, he went door to door and begged money so he could build the temple. In the same mood, we sit here in front of you, also trying to evoke your sentiments, evoke your wonderful zamir, that please, this evening is the time when you hear so many subject matters. Come forward, make your life dhanya. Make some sacrifice. Make great sacrifice if you need to. But this is the time. This is the temple that will influence all the temples of the world. It will make prosperity for the entire Iskcon movement. And that we have seen for those of you who've been to Mayapur. Everyone feels spiritually exhilarated. Seeing the seva, seeing the dham, taking bath in the Ganga, just being in the holy place. There is such a spiritual emancipation. Yes, I feel surcharged. So let us share this great good fortune with the entire world. This is why we are here. Those packets we have given you, you please see there is a form in there and some other gifts that we have brought from Sridhar Mayapur. One of the greatest gifts that we found, just as we were bringing Lord Nityananda Prabhu's Paduka in Shantipur, we found this original painting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This painting that was commissioned by the king of Puri, who was also a great devotee of Mahaprabhu during his time. He had commissioned an artist to paint Mahaprabhu's painting on a piece of wood. And this we found, so we took a picture and we made cards for all of you to keep, to see exactly what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked like. So this is one of the wonderful treasures that we bring to you. We also have in your packet a nice picture of the Padukas. So you can keep on your altar that these Padukas you were able to take darshan of, and they had personally come to your house in order to inspire you to serve and build this wonderful temple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we have some deity pictures in there. Before I explain to you the 7 different ways you can participate, I want to tell you the significance of this lollipop, which is enjoyed very much by our community son. Why have you put a piece of sweet in your packet? Because in India, we know when there is something auspicious, a reason to celebrate, what do? हम अपना मुंह मीठा कराते हैं एक दूसरे के. So this is a reason to celebrate. This evening is not an evening of getting together and hearing satsang and kirtan. Yes, but on top of this evening is an evening to make your sambandha in seva to that wonderful temple that will connect us forever and ever to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our sampradaya. So this is why this sweet is there. And now we come to this form that we have put 7 years to inaugurate. The temple opening is in 2022, which is also the 50th anniversary of the Mayapur project. And the entire temple project is 600,000 square feet. Just like this temple project of yours, with almost 150 devotees are sitting here, is 3,000 square feet. The temple room is probably 1,500 square feet. This temple building is 600,000 square feet. The temple room inside is 1.5 acres. 10,000 devotees can not only sit but they can dance together in front of the Lord. That is how grand and wonderful the temple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. And who in the world will not want to come and take darshan of Mahaprabhu and visit Sri Ram Mayapur? So in order to complete and build this huge structure, we need 6 more years to complete it, and therefore 7 days to participate. The total cost of this temple is 600,000 square feet, at $150 a square foot is the construction cost, comes to $90 million. $25 million was given by one person to get it started. In the last 3 years of our endeavor, we have gone to many communities of Iskcon and devotees, and they have kindly contributed to us $15 million. And with that, in the last 3 years, we have been constructing the temple with the money given by all of you. Now we require the balance, $50 million in the next 7 years. So we still have time. We don't need $50 million today. Therefore, we ask you, make a pledge that you can spread over the next 4 or 5 years, or even 7 years, if you have to. But make a pledge that is substantial enough so that you can build this temple. Just like if you were invited to the king's birthday party and you were an ordinary man, would you take an ordinary gift according to your status, or would you take the gift according to the king's status? So in the same way, this is that one unique temple. This is the crown on the body of Iskcon. This is the heart of our movement. It is the headquarters of 450 centers around the world. Make a gift, a commitment, a pledge, which is suitable, which decorates this temple. Even if we have to make some sacrifice, spread it over 4 or 5 years of time, but make the sankalpa today. So we have gratitude coins, because this is the 50th anniversary this year and the next, in celebration and gratitude to the great Acharya Srila Prabhupada, and in wanting to give this wonderful temple as our collective Guru Dakshina, our gift of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. We have come up with the scheme of platinum coin, gold coin, and silver coin. 50 devotees participating in pledging $250,000 over 5 years or 7 years will be able to gift to the project $14.5 million. Sange Shakti Karodi. When people come together, your money multiplies to a strength as big as that. So 50 devotees at $250,000 can contribute $14.5 million to this project. In our preaching work that we have done, we already have 15 devotees that have pledged the platinum coin. The next category is 108 devotees participating in the gold coin program, which is $108,000. Collectively, the project will receive $12 million. That again is a very good amount of money. So $108,000 spread over 5 to 7 years comes to $7,000, $8,000 a year, or $12,000. And 108 limited editions to that. Then we have the silver coin, which has been very popular. A lot of devotees are coming forward and pledging that, with which in our travels in the last 23 temples, we have collected more than $7.5 million in pledges of money. But this kind of money is required in order to build this temple. The project right now, the contractors are needing $500,000 every month. They have to pay bills, so the construction is going on. So this $11,000 is the silver coin program. 1,008 people participating in the silver coin program will be able to contribute to the project $12 million. Totally 1,250 devotees can give 75% of the money that is needed. 1,250 devotees will be able to contribute $34.5 million to the project. Like they say, 80% of the money to any big project comes from 20% of the people. And 20% of the gifts are given by 80% of the rest of the people. So this is our request to you. Kindly consider if you can fall in this category of any of these coins, these gratitude coins, and you can fill out the forms. You can put your name and address and email addresses, and simply tick one of those circles in which you think you can contribute, and we will later on approach you through email and ask you how many installments you will be able to give this money to this project. The project also has the 501(c), with which we can write you tax benefit certificates here in America, and then that project, that money will be transferred to India for construction purposes. So first we will wait and see if there's anybody who wants to contribute any of these gifts. Please send your cards to us. Our volunteers are there, and we will bring them. We will read your names for the pleasure of the devotees and for the pleasures of Nityananda Prabhu and Vishnu Bhagwan, so that all the devotees can appreciate. We have brought with us these wonderful silver coins from Sri Mayapur that we want to give to you as our gratitude for coming forward and participating and pledging this amount of money for this project. After that, we have 3 other projects, 3 other schemes, and those are the golden brick. Under the dais, the platform of the deities, where the deities will stand, we are going to put these golden bricks, tiles, with your name and family name inscribed on it. On Rishingadev temple, underneath Rishingadev will be a tile for a $1,000 donation. The money will go to construction. For Panchatattva, it is $1,600, and for Radha Madhava, it is $2,500. And all that money will go to construction. For those who do $11,000, 3 complimentary bricks, 1 in each order, will be given by the TOVP for you as complimentary. That's worth $5,100 there. So this is the other 3 schemes. And then we have the square foot campaign, 1 square foot at $150. Devotees can do 1, 3, 5, as many square feet as they want to sponsor. These also can be given in installments. You don't have to give the money immediately. We will contact you and you can spread it over 1 or 2 or 3 years' time. And this way you can have your wonderful seva to Sri Dham Mayapur. This is the purpose. We are here. We have come from the Dham to tell you about the emotions and sentiments of the founder Acharya, the benefit of building a temple, and how many millions and millions of people will be utilizing this temple to become spiritually enlightened and to become devotees, Vaishnavas of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if there's anybody who is with our forms, please let's have them so that we can all start to sweeten our mouths and we can start giving you the gifts. For those devotees who also giving the tile, we also have the little points for you as our gift and recognition in order to give you. When we sacrifice for Krishna, Krishna always recognizes. And in recognition, what does he give you in return? What is Krishna's reward when we serve him? His reward is he gives you more seva. More seva. I'll give you an example of my own life. 3 years ago, at my age, I mortgaged my house, took a loan, and bought a property in Las Vegas to build a temple in Iskcon temple. So I did it, and the temple, we are still struggling, it's still going on. We still have to take some loans and this and that. But the result of that seva, of that sacrifice was, as soon as I did that 1 year after, or only a few months after, I got the seva of Mayapur. I was allowed to be a servant in this project so that I could also be a part in building this temple. So in the same way, you have all struggled to build this wonderful temple here in this city. But then, as a result, as a reward from the Lord, He is here already in your temple, offering you a much greater seva, the seva of building Sri Dham Mayapur. This is the spiritual vision. This is the way to serve. The more you serve, the more seva you will get. And this is the relationship between the Jiva and Paramatma, between the Jiva and Bhagavan. That more he serves Bhagavan, more Bhagavan awards him seva. To keep serving me, I give you opportunities to be my servant eternally. So this is the way to look at it. Please establish your sambandha. I know all of you work very hard. Get out there and do your jobs. But make a sacrifice within that limitation and build your sambandha with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The first one we have is Devendra Bharadwaj Prabhuji. His spiritual name is Damodar Ananda Das Prabhu, and he is pledging $11,000, 1 silver coin. Haribo! Thank you very much. Please come forward. Prabhuji has a silver coin to give you as our gratitude. Please come forward, Damodar Ananda. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Please remember, the pledges you make can be spread over a few years. So it's not that you have to give this 11,000 now. Slowly we are building the temple, and slowly you can send in the money so that we can send your contributions to Sri Dham Mayapur. But tonight is the night to make your pledge. Make a pledge so that proudly you can say that Krishna gave me the opportunity to be part of this wonderful project. Our children and generations to come, they can say, my father was the one, my mother was the one who built and contributed to this temple. After the opening, when you come to the temple and you stand in front of the deities will welcome you as a person who contributed and sacrificed to build this beautiful home for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Radha Madhava. This is the way of relationship of a jiva, of a bhakta with Bhagavan, with Sri Krishna. This is the way. This opportunity is there. What need is there for me to go door to door, leaving my family and business, begging? Because I know simply by connecting the Vaishnavas, connecting the devotees with the seva of Mayapur, I myself get a lot of mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why is Jananivas Prabhu leading his seva in Mayapur here in America? Because for the same reason. He knows we simply have to connect people, connect the devotees in seva to the Supreme Lord, and you get a wonderful commission, and that is mercy of the Lord.
So what is the difference between brick and tie ball?
It's the same thing. Some we are calling brick, some we are calling time, but that is the sample. We put 34 characters on it. Your name, your father's name, do it in your mother's name. You can do it in your family name, and that tile goes underneath, and the deities will directly stand on your tile. It is a very intimate sambandha with the Lord that your brick, your tile has gone underneath, and the deities are standing on it forever, and the money is utilized for building the temple. So these are just very nice spiritual emotions with which we have configured how we can build your sambandha with the deities, with the temple, with the dham. Take this opportunity. There will not be another time we will come to your temple asking you to participate. With so many words and sentences that we have spoken, you should all become inspired. Just like on a billboard I read one time, it said, aspire to inspire before you expire. So that's it. You can get wisdom anywhere. So we should all aspire to become inspired in doing good things. The world is always motivating us to do bad activities. But here is the greatest beneficent act of building a temple that will spread the light all over the world. The spiritual enlightenment, any humanitarian work, any good thing can only be done if you are spiritually enlightened. Only a spiritually enlightened person is the one who runs to do good activities to people. So this is the seed of everything. Spiritual enlightenment is very important. And these temples are not just temples, they are educational institutions. Srila Prabhupada's temples are all educational institutions. When we teach philosophy, we teach way of life, we teach sattvic ahar, we teach proper behavior, we make you and mold your lives in a way that you can live it very comfortably, very piously, and also make spiritual advancement. Do you have any more? Let's have the silver coins, and then we will start announcing the other tiles. We have quite a few devotees. Let there be 100% participation. That is the way to celebrate the Lord coming to your temple. Whether it is the tile, whether it is the silver coin, whatever category, whatever amount of might you can put into it. But do not go empty-handed. Take some seva back. Even if it is just 1 square foot of $150, make your pledge. Take the seva sampatti back with you home. And today, Prabhus came from Sri Mayapur and gave us the opportunity to do some seva to such a wonderful dham as Sri Mayapur. Here is a devotee who wishes to stay anonymous but is pledging a silver coin, $11,000. Thank you very much. Later on, you can anonymously come and take your gift. Hare Krishna. We have a bunch of Radha Madhava bricks, and that is Rajashekar Das Prabhuji. He is pledging $2,500. Thank you, Rajashekar. Hare Krishna. Please come forward. We also have some gifts for you. Some prasadam and blessings. Please come forward. Shankarane Das Prabhuji also pledging Radha Madhav brick $2,500. Thank you very much, Shankarane. Hare Krishna. Vrindapati Das Prabhuji, Radha Madhava brick $2,500. Hare Krishna. Achuka Radhika Devi Dasi, Nrishimadev died, $1,000 pledge. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Rohit Tomar, Nrishimadev died, $1,000 pledge. Hare Krishna. Please give them a big hand. And show them appreciation for all the coming forward. Just by appreciating those who do service, you also get the punya for it. You know, this is how our Shastra speaks. Srija and Nrishimadev died, $1,000 pledge. Hare Krishna. Srija Sri Kumara. Thank you. Please come forward. And we have Ajit Kalambera, and they are pledging $2,500. Radha Madhavan Boy. There's a Nrishimadev died for $1,000, and that pledge is coming from Sampat Nara. Thank you very much. This is a young and new community, and you're coming forward and making pledges to Sri Mayapur. I assure you, it is not going to be over there. One time, Prabhuji was speaking in one of his lectures, Jananivas, and he said, for those of us who donated and we come and the temple is built, all of us is going to have the same feeling in our heart. And what is that? We're all going to be thinking, I wish I had done more for such a beautiful place. So that is the wonderful reciprocation that the Lord is going to give us once the temple is completed. Rajitha, Nam, Namadurai, and they are doing golden break for $1,600. Hare Krishna. Vidya Sagar, and he's pledging a Nrishimadev tile for $1,000. Thank you, Father. Anyone who would like to do square feet, 1 or 3 or 5, we can also pledge that amount. But do. In the past, we've had temples where congregation has come forward and children have pledged 1 square foot from their piggy bank. I'm very proudly we accept because that's a wonderful sanskar. Prakash Chincholikar Prabhuji, 1 Nrishimadev ka $1,000 and 3 square feet, $450. Radha Madhav will bring $2,500, and this is from Gilish Sweta Pejatia. Hare Krishna. Please come forward. Thank you very much. Radha Madhav. Hare Krishna. Anyone who is not yet still thinking about it, please. We also have a small 3-minute cinema that we did not show. So after this, we show the cinema, and then after that, we have the management has flower petals. Everyone will get an opportunity to offer flowers to Lord Nityananda's Paduka, take blessings, and then Jananivas Prabhu is also available. If anyone wants family pictures to be taken with the TOVP at the background, it's a nice memory to have. We will also do that. $1,000, and this is Milind Lomba. Hare Krishna. Please come forward. Thank you. So do we have 100% participation? Everyone? Members of the family? Yes, perfect. We have this graphic here. Nitin Patel, Prabhuji is offering 1 square foot, $150. Radhika Velupula, $150, 1 square foot. Thank you, Radhika. Sindoor, and she is doing 1 square foot, $150 donation. Sindoor Chandu Singh. Please come up. We also have some certificates and gifts from Mayapur for the square foot donors. So please come up, the square foot donors. Ezil Namadurai, $201 donation. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Randir Singh Thakur Prabhuji, 4 square feet, $600 donation. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Heta, and she's pledging $11 donation. Thank you very much, Heta. Please come forward. And here's a $100 donation from Abhishek Agarwal. Hare Krishna. Please come forward. $151 to TOVP, and that is from Nagaradhika de Milupura. Nagaradhika, Hare Krishna. Please come forward. Thank you. Yes. Sindhu Chandrasen has already said. Thank you very much. So now, can we show that little video? Srila Prabhupada is speaking about the TOVP and a few of our leaders, and also it's just a small little 3-minute video that we made. So please see it, and after that, there will be opportunity for offering flowers for the death of the Paduka, and there is also some choose prashadam for all the devotees who are gathered this evening. Want to take this opportunity to thank you all from the bottom of our heart for coming forward and participating in this wonderful project of Mayapur.
Light switch off.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches that how we establish this temple, Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appears to stand on Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he said yes, therefore he said Choma, Mahaprabhu Choma. Now, Sri Mahaprabhu is right. And he distributes the moon sign all over the world. Millions. Moon sign. You won't give Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contact in your room. This is not the fact. You must allow the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to rise more and more, so that this moon sign is promoted all over. Very long. That's what the structure was on Maya.
Because every particle of dust in my world is improving consciousness.
This is another biggest network ever. Here and all around, we're comfortably all pent out. Our people come from miles and miles. People are they're 80s.
Everyone will feel as they continue to spiritual life, what to speak of those who actually contribute to it.
There is no return. There is no zero. For the knowledge and blessing of the Lord. Lord, of my heart. Lord,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. So, once again, very, very grateful to all devotees and guests who have come and so wonderfully, graciously did your best to serve this wonderful project. We would like to thank you all. And again, we would like to thank these wonderful devotees to have come here and given us these gifts. We're loudly chanting. So at this time, we will be giving everybody the opportunity to come forward and offer flower petals at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, which are present here, and the Sitari of Lord Narasimha and Jananivas who has kindly agreed to give the blessings of Lord Narasimha to everybody. So we request him to come and maybe stand or sit wherever you would like to do. And you can come from that side, do a quick offering. You don't have to make your obeisances here to take a long time. So just offer flowers, take the blessings, and come to this side. And if you wish, you can then offer your obeisances, but don't do it there because we slow down the whole event, and we are almost running out of time. So that is also fine. You can put for this route. Come from this side, take it from this side. Jananivas Prabhu can request that side. Take the blessings and then go and stand in the queue where we will be making everything for prasada.